Welcome back to our People Touching People Forum. My name is Dr. William Lee. Of course, in part one, which we just concluded on the subject matter of midlife crisis, can't afford retirees, etc., etc., we are back with part two today. We pull back the curtains on the silent crisis no one wants to talk about. The realization in your 50s that the traditional retirement dream is slipping away. We talked about the grief, the fear, and the uncertainty. But today, we are focusing on part two. We are moving from fear to tragedy. We are talking to the persons with 10 to 15 years left to work. You might feel behind, but I want to challenge you that you can't just get older. You are highly experienced. I'm joined today by two wonderful lady professionals in their own rights. Um, and to my right is Miss Sestian Campbell. Welcome again. And to my left is Miss Nadine Pusey. Ladies, welcome. And these ladies, I must say, they are bringing a lot, a world of experience, knowledge, and talents and abilities. And I think today we're going to have a wonderful subject matter to discuss as we talk about the practical roadmap then and solutions leading up to retirement. I think it's going to be very good, ladies. So thank you again for coming on. And let's go further, talk about the experienced worker. Many people in their 50s feel the sting of ageism. They feel like they are being pushed out in the corporate from the corporate world and what the corporate world has done to them. And so I'm going to go now to Miss Stacey and Campbell. We're on a powerful topic today. I would like you to please share a little as we lay the foundation going forward. Thank you, Dr. As we know, some parts of the corporate world might be, but here's the secret. Come on. Mid-sized businesses, startups, and nonprofits are starving for what you have. They value maturity, yes, stability, and what I call pattern recognition. Mm. You've seen crisis before. You know how to lead through a storm. Yes. Well, Miss Pusey, you're next. What do you have to share about that?
Yeah, no, I agree with what Ms. Stacy just said. So you mentioned that people in their 50s
Oh,
in
yes.
corporation,
Oh,
that
yes.
they are feeling as if they're being pushed out. The fact that they may have 10 to 15 more years to
Yes.
retirement,
Yes.
and so they're feeling that trepidation and maybe fear and intimidation, and also feeling that they're too old. You
That's right.
mentioned
Oh, yes.
that they're not old,
Of course.
and they shouldn't see themselves that way because they're mature. They have seen the storm, and there are
Yes.
many organizations out there that need their skills and expertise. And I would like to call them a seasoned navigator. You're not too old.
Wow.
You
That's
are a
powerful.
seasoned navigator because you're experienced in the area.
Oh, yes.
There are many organizations, as smaller ones, as you mentioned, startups, that are looking for people like those with those
Yes.
skill sets and those
Yes.
experience and maturity
Yes.
to guide them, to guide and lead them through many areas of the, whether it's operations or HR or different things, right?
Yes.
They are looking for persons who they don't have to hand hold because many younger professionals now, not as experienced as the 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds,
That is true.
they need more time to get to that stage. And so it's so important that the experience, the seasoned navigator, still staying the game. What they could do is look at how they're transitioning out in 10 to 15 years and
Wow.
also to upskill to stay on board.
That's awesome. A question for you, both ladies. So, what does upskilling looks like at 52 or 53?
53, yeah. It's about staying current about what's happening.
Yes.
There are a lot of new technology, as we know, has exploded on the scene in the
Oh,
last
yes.
10 years, and you need to be upskilled to be able to use those, whether you like it or not. these are tools that we're going to be using going in the future.
Yes.
So I would suggest, so upskilling would be learning tools like Google Workspace,
Wow.
learning how to
Okay.
use that,
Okay.
learning how to use Slack. I mean, in some organizations, they use Teams, like their Microsoft Shop, but learning
Wow.
how to use Slack, learning how to use Canva and QuickBooks, and
Yes.
also AI. Don't be afraid of AI. I know it's a topic for another
Yeah,
time,
of course.
so we won't be going into that too much, but learn to use it. Those are tools that we can use. And there are AI tools like ChatGPT, we're familiar with that. There is Microsoft has one Copilot.
Wow.
There is Claude, which is all the rage these days. We were
Yes,
talking about
yes,
Claude.
yes.
And these tools have made it so easy for non-technical people to use them as well. So you
Yes.
don't need to be knowing need to understand how to code or
Yeah.
any of those technical things.
Yes.
But just being able to ask questions. Literally, you're putting in prompts, which are just asking questions, and it also helps you and guide you along the way. So I would suggest that the seasoned professional
Yes.
who wants to upskill, that they start small, maybe 10 minutes a day, and
Yes.
focus on asking AI questions like draft an email for me, summarize what this document is saying, help me brainstorm ideas of how I can start a business or other
Yes.
things. And use AI, don't be afraid of it.
Mm.
So those are some of my suggestions. Um, there are other practical certifications they could get, like real estate,
That's
financial coaching,
yes,
tech
yes.
sales. There's all those broad range of things that
Yes.
someone in their 50s who maybe would like to transition in the next 10, 15 years, start looking at those areas.
You know, I remember one of my previous clients. This gentleman has been working for this company for many years. You know, he started from the bottom of the ladder, and he gradually grew up to a point now of the position came. He wanted to for him to become a manager of the department. He had a problem. He seriously had a problem, and I don't know if they knew. He was practically physical work. But then when you get into management, you have to do a lot of calculation, you have to do purchasing and all of that stuff. And he seriously had a problem in mathematics. He was not able. And, and he came to me for, and I was able to help him. I brought him in class for a while, almost 6 months leading up to, and I was the one that taught him all the calculations. It's a huge milk company. They do all type of, you know, and he had to buy material, he had to do all the mixing and all of that. And I was amazed. He got it. And he took that position and he was successful. But he had to be willing to be retrained.
Yes.
You know, a lot of
You
folks
have to be,
because they're embarrassed, they
yeah.
wouldn't want to seek help. But that was one of my success. I worked with this gentleman and teaching behind the scene and helping.
And it's very good that he recognized that he wasn't
Yes.
able
Yes.
to do a certain part of the job and
Yes.
he went to
Yeah.
get help. You know?
Another lady again, she was a secretary of a large establishment in Toronto, a non-profit organization without naming names. And the company, non-profit organization, the government working with them, and they built a large co-op complex over there in Mississauga, different houses. And she had a problem, you know, because all the management, property management skills to do the credit checks of all the employees and to do all of that, she knew nothing. She came to me, and every night she met with me, or twice or three times a week. I'm the one that trained her, and nobody knew. And she became successful. She was a manager over there, and her boss didn't know. But again, she was willing to learn. So again, we talk about retraining and all of that. Sometimes persons have to put their pride aside.
Yes.
That's what's happening, especially when you reach this type of age we're talking about it. All right, so let's go on further, ladies. All right. So let's talk about money. Is that all right? Because money seems to be a big thing, you know.
It's very important.
We can all use some more money. I can use some more money. How about you?
Absolutely.
Of course, you know. So let's address that for a moment. If someone believes that their pension won't be enough, right, at retirement, and they don't have a large private nest, etc., what can they do to build that bridge or that gap between? So money is a big subject. Money is a wide subject. I think that would take a whole night. But let me hear what do you have to say about it?
And a lot of people are afraid of talking about money.
Oh yes. Yes.
But tonight, I
Mm.
just want to share that aside from financial products like RRSPs and
Mhm.
TFSAs,
Mhm.
low income index funds or ETFs, or
Mhm.
even digital investments like Bitcoins, there are other options that may feel more accessible.
Mhm.
But if people feel intimidated by investing, and that's a conversation for another podcast, as you
Yes.
said, Dr. Lee. But today, let's
Yes.
focus on transitioning your own skills
Mhm.
and competencies into your next turn, your own business.
All
One
right.
example is the portfolio career trend.
Mhm.
Instead
Mhm.
of one 9 to 5 job, you build a portfolio of income
Yes.
streams. This could include part-time work,
Yes.
advisory roles,
Mhm.
speaking or becoming an online educator. And a lot of that is happening these days because people are busy.
Yes.
They are interested in doing online courses
Yeah.
because,
That's right.
you
That's
know,
right. That's right.
and you can do it from anywhere
Mhm.
in the world.
And the thing is too, only that you mentioned, okay, we're going to be discussing that further on
Mhm.
the importance. We have learned, and I've known that over the years,
Mhm.
to work for someone, not a person, you'll never become a millionaire working as a subordinate for a company. But a lot, and it is a fact, a lot of persons who open their own business, entrepreneurs,
Yes.
that's how they become successful.
Mhm.
And you'll be surprised, starting with what you know, whatever you're passionate about, really automatically, and it's a fact that you'll become successful.
Yes.
You know, I mean, again, a lot of experience. Years ago, when I was a property manager for a large property corporation, yeah, I opened up a little business for myself.
Mhm.
Yes, I did. And I was very successful. Along the way, I opened up a property management company and I had a lot of contracts, and it didn't cost me anything because of the knowledge, right? You don't have to have a lot of money to start a business like that. It's just that I was good at marketing. I know where to tap in and get contracts, and I saw contracts. So these are things persons can do.
Mhm.
Look at even like a cleaning business or landscaping business. Somebody says, "Well, I don't have money." It's easy, and so we might be able to help some of these folks as we move along,
Absolutely.
to give them guidance. We
Mhm.
talk about business plan. You go to the bank to get a loan. And once the bank see you have a decent business plan, they'll give you. So there are ways that we can become successful, and we don't have to have a lot of money. We can start from scratch. Okay. So, Miss Pusey, what do you
Mhm.
have to say?
Right. So another thing that persons can think about, in addition to portfolio careers that you mentioned,
Yes.
there are you could look at fractional roles. But before you do that, think about the systems that you've mastered over the years. We're talking about the skilled navigator.
Mhm.
You have worked in the system
Yes.
for 20, 30 years now. You have mastered some things.
Yes.
So look at that carefully, what you've
Mhm.
done over those years, what you have
Yes.
mastered,
Yes.
and think about it. Can you teach that? If
Oh,
you can teach
yes.
that, then you can start a podcast even. You can
Mhm.
start online
Oh,
courses as well.
that's right. That's right.
So when the 10 to 15 years when you're looking down is what can I do when I'm done with this role or when I transition from this role? You may become, as you mentioned, online teacher
Wow.
business.
Wow.
You can offer what is now being called a fractional leadership.
Yes.
Now, this simply means that you provide your expertise for as a part-time or a contract.
Yes.
So after you're done with your 9 to 5 and
Mhm.
you have now transitioned into retirement, you could look to offer what's called fractional leadership role
Mhm.
in operations, if that's what your skills was, in HR, in finance, in
That's right.
project or program leadership. And
Yes.
again, this is on a part-time basis, on a contract. There are many organizations, especially startups, they're not looking to hire, they may not want to hire an HR person full time
Yes.
on
Yes.
staff, but they're willing to pay that person maybe 10 hours per week,
Mhm.
per
Mhm.
month, I'm
Yes.
sorry,
Yes.
to do some HR work for them, to do some operational work, to do some project management work. And so those are roles. You're offering a part of leadership that you have
Yes.
mastered in
Mhm.
this way. So you could look to do that. Another thing that you could do when you're looking for these skills, because these skill sets are probably hidden within you that you don't
Oh,
recognize that
yes.
you
Oh,
have.
yes.
You, if you are someone who give advice in the organization,
Mhm.
then think about coaching and mentoring.
Oh, yes.
You may be able to do that. If again, if you organize projects, if you were a project manager for many years, you can be consulting or project management on the side. If you are a trainer, HR trainer, formally, you can start workshops or online courses, as you mentioned, or podcasts. So these are just some, a few, a tidbit of ideas that you could look at
Yes.
in transitioning your skill from your 9 to 5 to your own business when you retire.
I must, if you don't mind, just drop a thought here. So far, we have been talking about white collar workers, positions. But what about blue collar workers? The guys that have been working in the factory, huh?
Mhm.
In the kitchens and all of these things. And this as well. These guys are talking about executive positions, etc. Doesn't matter whether you used to work in a factory. With all your years of experience, you can still use your skills and abilities and turn things around, as you just said.
Mentor
You
and
just talked
coach.
Mentor,
about that
ah,
too.
it's important.
You could start a cleaning business.
That's right.
Which is
That's
not
right.
much.
You know, a gentleman came to me some time ago, and he's doing barbering. Barbering. I saw the potential beyond what I see he's doing. I sat down with him and I challenged him. And I said, helped him. I said, listen, you can open up your own barber shop rather than working for somebody. But not only that, you can turn it around that you can set up in a way that you have hairdressers coming in, divide it up into different sections. Are you there? So now you're the manager and you have all these people working for you. We talk about budget. Money came up. I said, it's not hard. It's easy. We can arrange to. And I challenged the person. I says, this is what you're going to do. I asked for a business plan. I said, if you have a problem with that, we can help you. I saw potential. I saw the potential. Where I talk about location and all of that, which I will help you to find. And unfortunately, person did not buy into that. And it's very sad. When you see the vision, you're trying to help a person, but then they have to take the initiative. Am I right?
Yeah.
And accept the challenge and accept, you know. But again, that's why we're here.
Right.
We're here to
Right.
give information, we're here to encourage persons, but then they have to be willing to accept and step out by faith too. All right. Yes.
And just to add to that as well,
Mhm.
I think YouTube and social media has pretty much leveled the playing field.
Oh,
There
yes.
are people that I follow on there, like there is a plumber. He
Mhm. All
teaches
right.
you different things
There
that
you
you
go.
could do it yourself.
There you
There are
go.
barbers who show off their skills
There you
Yeah.
go.
on YouTube, and you're watching them cut a hair and just how,
Yep.
the design and how it turns out, it really captivates your attention. So there are many people who are putting
Yeah.
their skill set out there on YouTube and what they do and
So,
being paid for it.
so you're
So
saying there's
yes,
no excuse then?
really none
There's
at
no
this
excuse.
point. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The potential availability are there so as to accept the challenge.
Yeah.
Wow, isn't that something?
It is.
All
Indeed.
right, so you mentioned AI and AI earlier on. Where does AI fits into all of this? Because this seems to be an issue on the table. I know a lot of people are afraid to venture
Yes.
into this arena because we have lack of knowledge.
Yes.
Maybe you can sort of enlighten us a little on that
To some
matter.
extent.
To
To
some
some extent.
Okay.
It's still evolving. It's a lot to learn,
Yeah.
and still need to do your own research and be cautious about how you do things. But
Yes.
for the moment,
Mhm.
AI can help you develop and run your business.
Mm.
And again, this is without being a technical person. For the non-technical person,
All right.
they're able to use it. For example, if you want to start a business supporting seniors, you could use AI to help you navigate services, stay organized, and help you to do research. You could AI could help you to outline the services that you want to offer.
Okay.
It can help you to draft a simple flyer or email that you send to families. It can create checklists for what seniors would need. It can do that deep research for you as well in your area to see what is it that seniors are looking for, what are their pain points, what you can help with. It can help you with brainstorming pricing and schedules. So
Mm.
again, you don't need a lot of technical skills to do
Right.
this. Just be able to ask it questions and do research. It helps you to write a business plan and just help you to focus as well. There are some more advanced functionality of AI right now that are the agentic AI, where that can help you with workflows. But I'm not going to get into that right now.
Okay.
But it can actually help you to run the business at this point.
If I may say, there's a lot of folks out there that are still dubious
Yes.
because it's something new, and change sometimes comes. A lot of people are afraid of change. Personally, I embrace it, but I still have some concern.
Yeah.
I have some concern when all of that is over, because we seems to be dependent upon this.
Very much so.
This becomes our brains. Am I right? I might be wrong, but I'm just saying I think we should go a bit slow and study this matter through, because the moment you depend upon AI, the answer is there. But what about yourself? What about the reasoning power?
True.
What about your own research? Is it taking us to a place where university students will leave university and go out into working place, working environment, and they're not knowledgeable, they don't know what to do because they're dependent on machine and a system. I think I have a bit of concern. Maybe I don't have all the answer. Maybe you do.
I don't.
So-
I don't have all
so,
the answers for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, I'm old fashioned. I'm old school. When we were growing up in high school and college, we didn't have computers. We didn't have, we were not allowed to use calculators, mathematics, accounting. We have to use our brains. Now in school, now you have everything in front of you. You don't have to use your brains anymore. So I still have a little bit of concern. I really do. I don't. Maybe you can help us.
But
Huh?
I was thinking in terms of the AI doctrine,
Please tell
we're
us.
talking not for people who do not know and are just trying to learn. We're talking about persons who already have certain experience and they just want to venture. They just want to start something new. They might not know how to do it. So instead of going to, we talked about the gentleman who was not good at accounting and he came to look for you
Yeah, yeah.
so you could teach him. So what we're saying is, in terms of the AI, yes, you can have that person to help you, but it's more convenient. You can, look, go on your computer, ask certain questions, and they'll give you the
It does
answer.
the research for you as well.
And the answer is so
Give
you
you
don't
the
have to you
answer.
don't have
You
to
do
do
the
any research
research.
for yourself.
You do the research, but a wise person would
Oh,
just
oh,
take
oh,
that
okay.
and run with
For the
that
first thing that they
thing.
get.
Hello,
You
hello.
would take it's like
And I
instead
want
of
to
a
add
wise
though
person,
that
You
I
said
say
a
a
wise person.
you get the ideas
Okay,
and you
all
use
right.
those ideas to go do your background search and go
Okay.
expound on it, expand on it. Ask questions. If it tells you about something about real estate, you go and you go to a real estate agent and you say, okay, I've learned that I can
Yeah.
do X, Y, and Z. Is it true in your industry? Is that how you
Yeah.
do it? And then you would know, then you'd gain some knowledge.
What do you have to
And
say about that?
it's true. We have to. It's a
She
balance.
said a wise person, though. Remember
Yes,
that?
absolutely. And I think you should use wisdom.
Not the unwise person, a wise person. That's what she
With
said.
everything, you should use
So
wisdom.
guys like me, I have no hope. There's no hope
No,
for
you're,
me.
you're a very wise man. But just to add to that, there are activities or things that you do, even in your workplace now, that before was taking 3 days and now it's taking 3 hours. Do you say, okay, I'm not going to use it and take 3 days? Your manager or boss may not like that. So it is going to be a balancing act at the moment. You have to, again, use wisdom to see how much of it you use. But it's a tool that can help you and use it wisely.
I agree with you. I'm a practical person. I'm old school. I don't like to go to the bank machine and use my card and the bank machine talking to me. I like to go and see a teller. I am the old school guy. Yeah, so I don't know where we're going with this matter.
In 15 years, you may not have tellers.
So
We don't know.
we don't know.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that I would want and hope that we go slow on this AI and educate the people, not just the intellects, but the guys on the street, persons that are not yet at that level, because that's the grassroots, because that's important, right? And let us grow gradually into this. But this thing
Okay.
is like a runaway train. It's going so fast that either you keep up or you're left behind.
Behind.
Huh?
Yep.
No, you see, that's why we have this forum.
That's
I'm
true.
here to challenge you guys too, and you challenge me, and see if we can come to a solution. Do we agree that we need to go slow with this, or you agree that we just bulldoze away? We're doing good.
Well, in my opinion, I say in everything you do in moderation.
Oh, okay.
You do in moderation. So using AI, it's not bad. It's not a
Mhm.
bad thing. It's just for you to be wise and check it out. You can also check out the stuff that you get on your platform. Ask
Oh,
questions. Ask persons who are experienced in the field. It's just like getting your ideas together, go seek it out, and the person can tell you if whatever you gather from your AI, if you're on the right track. And then
okay.
you know that's some information for you that's still using your brain to do something.
Mhm.
You're not totally dependent on the computer. You're not totally dependent on the AI to get all the information and just present it to
I
you.
think we need to move on, but we need to
Mhm.
go back to this topic. This topic we need to revisit them because I'm telling you, talk about social media. A lot of the stuff that comes out on YouTube is false information. I'm telling you. Example, a well-known gospel artist. I was reading on the social media his picture, talk about he's dead, etc., etc. He's dead in the States, and they made a big write-up about this guy. They even showed a picture of him in the hospital dead. He's dead. And next, 2 days ago, there's a show
Mhm.
on program, gospel pro, and the guy is one of the singers. And I thought, you have to be very careful here. Again, please forgive me. Let's move on with the subject, but there's much for us to discuss. Okay. All right. Let's talk about consulting collective. How about that? What
Mhm.
else can people do? Um, uh,
Okay, so in addition to what
this is quite
Maybe had
interesting, isn't it?
mentioned before, using the AI and all those other things
Yes.
at your fingertip, the Slack and those other things, there's also consulting collective.
Okay.
And we are seeing this trend more and more today. It's rising. People are using it more and more. And it's something that if you know how to navigate your way through, it
Mhm.
can work well for you.
Consulting collective.
Yes.
For me, again, I'm old school, right? So that's new to me. So will you define it or break it down in a
Okay,
layman's terms for me? Oh dear, this
so
is good.
with the consulting collective, imagine three people each running
Yes,
their own separate businesses,
yes.
coming together for larger, more complex projects, usually to bid and larger complex
Okay.
projects. It's a game changer because big clients often don't like one person shops
Yeah.
where it's just a little thing. I always hear Dr. Lee use this word, used car salesperson or a little Mickey Mouse thing.
Yeah.
I like when sometimes when we're having discussion, he likes to say that. So
Mhm.
big companies don't like when you come to them with just a little
Mhm.
thing. They like
And
to
you're
have
just
Of course.
substance. They
Okay.
like to know that you
Mhm.
know what you're
Mhm.
doing. So
Mhm.
with this, they worry about like hit by a bus risk. So when you do a collective uh, consulting collective, it reduces that risk and gives you leverage.
Mhm.
You keep your own LLC and your own rates,
Mhm.
but you bid together on projects that need combinations like strategy plus
Mhm.
execution or
Mhm.
finance plus tech. So it's
Mhm.
more than one person coming together to make it happen. So
Right.
you might be techie and the other person might
right.
know a little
Right.
more about finance. So
Mhm.
you pull
Of course.
your
Of course.
skills together
Mhm.
and you form.
And
No,
you bid
no,
for
no, I
the,
understand.
yeah.
No, I understand. We're talking about, for example, franchising and all.
Yes.
So those are terms I'm used to.
Yes.
When you're pulled together,
Yes.
group of companies with various talents and abilities and funds and all of that.
Yes.
And example, McDonald's or some of these companies, a lot of these units you see out there are franchise,
Yes.
right? And so on. I understand. It's just the word you use, consultative,
Collect. So
collective. Like I mean,
this
that's new
is,
for me, but that's
yeah,
okay. I'm old school.
maybe it's slightly different. For example, this is those persons are probably more established in their companies and
Hmm.
organizations. So we're talking about the person who is in their 50s again, looking at retirement. What
Okay.
is it that they can do? Now, they might have been a person who worked in finance or project management.
Right.
So that is a skill set that they have. Now they are looking, what is it that they can do after retirement with this? They might decide to start a project management business,
Yes.
but then they see a contract that government has and they want to go after that contract. So with project management, they may need someone who has finance
That's right.
and expertise. Again, somebody who's retiring, an older person, finance, and somebody else with tech. And so they may come together for that particular project, like a complex project. Again, as you mentioned, you keep your own LLC, you keep your own clients, you keep your own rates. But for this particular project that you're going after, you go after it together as a team. And so it's less risk if one person goes, because the company might say, oh, you're just a small shop. What happens if you get sick or whatever? What happens to this? So this is where the consultative collective is working these
Okay,
days.
very good. Very good. How do you set something like this up without it becomes a mess? Because you have to have a proper structure.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's going to fall apart. How do you do that?
So Nadine just gave you an example of
Yes.
how you could uh, get that started. But just to add to what she has said about, you
Yes.
know, it's you're established, you have your experience in your area of expertise, and you pool with someone else. So with that, each person would be in their own swim lane. Clarity and who does what.
Yes.
So I'm in accounting, I do the accounting.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
You're
right.
a lawyer, you take on the legal
Exactly.
Legal
matters.
matters, yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
So you do that and you have a written agreement. Who sells the work? Who owns the client relationship? How is revenue split? Who owns the intellectual property?
That's right. That's right.
And the next thing too is you start small,
Okay.
maybe 3 people, and run a pilot project. Just start out,
Of course.
try it out, see how it works, and then you can take it to the next level. Keep your own clients separate, but use the collective to pursue larger opportunities. For example, Nadine mentioned you might see a government project that you want to go after.
Oh, yes.
And you know if you see that's a huge project with large profits. So you want to make sure that when you go, when you bid on it, or you might have to bid, you might
Yes.
have to present how you're going to take this project off the ground. So
Business
when
plan,
you
yeah.
yeah, so when you pool those resources together, you and your partner,
Yes.
then you know it you better have leverage over winning the bid.
That is true. That is true. So if I'm 50 today, let's say today I'm 50 years old, I'm still employed, and I'm worried about retirement. What should I be doing at my break? What should I be thinking of when I get my breaks? What should be on my mind? And Miss Pusey, help me
Yeah,
out.
not just that you break, but what should be on your mind all the time.
The
How
clock,
are
the
you
clock is
going to, the
ticking.
clock is ticking now to retirement, how you
Okay,
should do.
tell me please.
I think an important thing you should be doing right now is building a network bridge.
Oh,
Again, don't wait until you're 65 to do this
that's a
or
good
when you're
word.
retired, start now.
Mhm.
So, what you want to do is what is you build the relationships, visibility. So, you start letting people know what you can do. So, they start seeing you, and your side capability. You start maybe even start doing it on the side. Um, Again, why you want to do this? You want to build your bridge before you get to retirement so that you're at retirement is not just your pension that you're looking at. You would have established this bridge. How you want to do this? You want to connect with, again, 2 or 3 people a week, join a professional organization or community. You share your insight. You might even decide to mentor somebody, perhaps becoming a coach for younger professionals. This is things that you're doing on the side. And I think we mentioned earlier YouTube. You might want to start, getting into YouTube. But all in all, offer help on the side of your job. Try to get small paid work because what you're doing is testing out. And then you learn, you observe what is it that is resonating with people.
Wow.
Like if I go in my community, join my community, if there's an association, I might see what is it that the community needs that I can offer. I start small by offering it to 1 or 2 people. I might even start a cleaning business,
Oh,
as you
very
say.
good.
start offering cleaning, start cleaning
Or
an
landscaping,
office or
yeah.
two or landscaping,
That's right. That's
and
right.
small jobs on the side. Learn if it's resonating, if people are picking up, if people are calling me or recommending me, and this is how you have a chance to test what the future would be like. You're
Oh,
testing
yes.
out to see when you do retire if this is something viable. Now, you use the next 15 years to position yourself as an expert in the area,
Wow.
an expert for hire.
Mhm.
And when you finally walk away from the 9 to 5, when you finally retire, you're not stepping into a void like, what am I going to do now
Oh,
with my
yes.
time? You're walking across a bridge that you would have
Wow.
established
Wow.
and that
Wow.
you've already built, and you
Wow.
just get moving.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very well said. Let's go further. Hmm? Let's talk about guides, self-identification exercise. How about that? I like to pause here and invite our audience that are watching, yeah, and ourselves to do a self-examination exercise over the coming week. Every so often I do that. I call it stock taking, self-examination. Have you done it recently? How about you, madam?
Not enough,
Not-
but I need to do it.
Well, let's get there for a moment. Ask yourself. That's what we need to ask ourselves. Yeah? What do people actually naturally come to me for? Why do people come to me? You ask me for help with, you know, and of course, in my position, people are always coming
Coming
to
to
me
you,
because
yes.
of my career. But self-examination, why do they come to me and not others? You know, number one, what do I do well without much effort? Again, you've heard me say it. When you're passionate, whatever you're passionate about, you'll be successful. It becomes not normal, it becomes natural. So, what do I do well without much effort that others find hard? Are you there? Third question: do people trust me with difficult or sensitive conversation? Well, I have no choice because of my position. We sign what is called a confidentiality form and all of that. So, but I'm talking to everybody. We talk to our friends. When people come to you, can they trust you with sensitive information? Are you persons that are able to maintain confidentiality, etc.? Yeah? Number four, am I good at explaining things, important, in a clear, simple way, making complicated things easy to understand? You know, sometimes persons talk to other persons, and when the conversation is over, they're confused. Do we break it down? I call it a layman's terms. You know, oftentimes we have to be very careful the person that is sitting in front of us because we can use those words that we get in university, you know, that it goes over the head. We make sure we have to be conscious of who we're talking to, we're counseling, because we can break it down that they can understand. Here is another thought. Um, what have I done again and again that leads to good results or success? Whether that is cooking, baking, organizing closet, planning events, or helping people get unstuck. These are things because we're in a people business. It's all about people, helping people to succeed. And the number six is what impact have I consistently made over the years? Self-examination.
Yes.
Are you there? You may not recognize these as skills because they feel natural to you, but it's a pattern, isn't it? If these resonate with you, that's not random. That's a marketable skill that can turn into a business. Are you there? You can write it down, you can rehearse it, etc., etc. Then, over the next week, find one small way to use it outside your current job. One small. Find somebody that you can, help. You can utilize your skills and your abilities, right, to help that person, and you'll be surprised to see how successful you'll be. All right.
Actually, I just wanted
Yes,
to
please.
emphasize because I think this exercise is a very good one to help us to
Yes.
identify hidden
Mm.
skills
Oh,
sets
dear.
that we have
Yeah.
that we can turn into a
Yeah.
business. So I
Yes.
really do like this. Like the question you asked, what do people naturally come to me for? What
Yes.
do they come to me to help them with?
Yes.
I might not recognize it as a skill, but as a problem
Yes.
solving skill. And
Yes.
if people continuously come to me to ask me for that,
Mhm.
that's something you need to pay attention
That
to
is
say
true.
that you can do.
That is true.
What do I do without much effort? That
Oh,
will take
yes.
somebody a longer time. A lot of people, especially younger persons, they are very good with the computers and
Oh, yes.
technology.
Oh,
So they
yes.
may do that so they can teach that.
Oh, yes.
Being able to explain difficult things,
Mhm.
simple, complex things. You might go into
Yes.
teaching workshops again because
Mhm.
that's something you're good at. You talk about good results, getting good
Mhm.
results and
Mhm.
things over and consistently.
Yes.
Somebody might be in finance right now, but guess what? They make a mean cake
All right. Come
or
on.
bakery. You were surprised that person
Yeah.
may end up leaving
Yeah.
that job later on, retire, and opening a bakery.
Mhm.
I know somebody who's good at fixing
Yes.
anything, dishwashers, everything.
Wow.
That person might decide that
Wow.
they want to do that. So
Mhm.
those asking those self-examination questions
Yes.
will reveal
Mm.
some of those hidden skill sets that you have
Yeah.
that you can use. You look
That is so
at, as you
true.
say, write them down, look at them, and it might be a business idea.
Example,
Yeah.
um, our yearly income tax return, January to April. Apart from all my involvement in all what I'm doing, I've established a small business because I'm good in accounting. I've studied it. And to a point where I had 50 clients that I do, and it's all cash deal, that I do the income tax. And
Oh,
there were
look at
more
that.
coming, and more. I got so busy that I just had to. But here's again, is your abilities, your
Yeah.
talents that you
Natural,
utilize.
natural
Not long
talent
ago,
abilities.
subject came up about a young lady. She's an accountant. And I was one that also encouraged the persons. Some information. I said, why don't you go to H&R, do one of those courses because you're an accountant? And no, that's what she does. She's doing income taxes on the side. And she's happy, making
Yeah.
money. So again, what are we doing? We're passing our knowledge and training abilities to others.
Yeah.
And I like when people are successful.
Yeah.
I like when you can help people and they become successful. Are you there?
I want
Absolutely.
to share this experience with
Please
you.
do.
For me, when going back up in Jamaica, as young girls,
Mhm.
most of us know how to do hair.
Yeah.
You know how to braid hair, you know how to cornrow. When I came to Canada, I didn't have a job.
All right.
And I came and I could do hair.
Mm.
So
Wow.
I just started braiding hair.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
Look at that.
Yeah, just started braiding hair. And I was making money.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you
So
go.
from that experience, I started working in a salon
There you
Wow.
go.
where I learned on top of
Mhm.
what I had. I
Okay.
now started to learn different things, how to do different things
Wow.
that
Hair and
just
makeup, right?
yes,
Yeah.
from
Wow.
just braiding the hair.
Yeah.
And from that, I realized, okay, there are some persons who they want their hair done, but
Mhm.
they may not have time to go to the salon, or they may have
Come on.
children
Come on.
who they need their hair to be done, but they don't have time to take them to the
Mhm.
salon. So guess what? I had a car. So I started going to
Oh,
people's
wow.
houses
Yeah.
Wow.
to do their
Wow.
hair. And
Awesome.
that's how I survived for quite a while
Yeah.
Wow.
until I got my feet at the ground.
Yeah.
And I was making money.
Yeah, it's a
Look
good
at that.
business
Look at that.
because you have a bridal
Yes.
party or weddings and that sort of thing. So
Wow.
absolutely.
Exactly.
Yes. As we come pretty well to the end, I want to talk about personal investment. Again, we're just touching
Mhm.
because we're going to have to have a one night, one day just to talk about invest that for people.
Yes.
Last time I sort of mentioned briefly to our audience, and somebody texted me and said, please, can I get the part two, which includes this? We talk about these things, but can you? And we talk about insurance investment, right? Preparing yourself. And I just want to also say briefly, 2 minutes, we talk about insurance. I told you a lot of people are not taking insurance. And this is very, very important.
Mhm.
So we talk about life insurance. Every person needs to have a life insurance, every person. Also within life insurance, you have term insurance. We're going to address that later on. And we also have insurance plus like a cash investment. Part of it is life insurance, and part of it goes into a investment. So later on, if you want to take some money out, it's like a special saving. All of that. We also talk about insurance, insuring your own children, not just yourself. Yes, I know I have a few minutes. I'm winding down. Yes. All right. But one more I want to touch as we're closing about funeral preparation. What I did some research this week, especially for us in Canada. And I spoke to a funeral director, cemetery. I found out that you can also buy your own plot, family plot. We're going to touch that another time. And the cost. And also you can also buy with a down payment and you pay monthly. They're all type of benefit preparation. You're preparing yourself. But the other
Beyond
things,
retirement.
yeah, the other things, we're gonna close up because there's so much more. We come into part three. This is part two, all right? So again, we have covered a lot today, from pensions to portfolio, careers, consulting collectively, and AI. I just want to thank the folks. But before I do, this,
Uh, don't be silent. Don't let the silent crisis keep you quiet.
oh yes,
Talk to your peers,
yes,
form collectives, as we mentioned.
Mhm.
And you might find that the work that you do when you retire is better than
Yes.
what you've done for the last 30
Wow.
years.
Miss Campbell.
It's true. Yeah, that's true, Miss Fusey. There's so many things that we can do moving into retirement. So, as we move along, as we go along, we
Oh yes.
realize that we're getting up to that point of retiring. These are some of the things we could take into consideration just to make you're not frustrated and you're not worried
Yes.
about how you're going to make it.
Mm.
So again, we thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. And just a reminder that when you listen to our podcast,
Yes.
please leave a comment so that we may know how our podcast is doing. We want to know how we're touching you from one day to the next. So please leave a comment on our YouTube channel so we might know. Please remember we're also on Spotify and we're also on Apple Podcast. So once again, thank you for joining us. And Dr. Lee, you have the final word.
And again, what I've noticed, and I thank you for mentioning that, because a lot of the audience, they are sending me personal respond, email, and texts. So you ask them now respond on the
YouTube.
on the YouTube,
Yes, give us
so that
like
everybody
and
can
share.
see your
Yes.
response, your comment. Am I
And
right?
comment.
Yes.
Correct.
All right, very good. Ladies, you have done very well, and we trust that our friends and loved ones out there benefit from our discussion. Again, we just want to thank the audience, just to remind them also that there's a ministry that is standing behind us, supporting us, Victory World Impact Ministries. Telephone number is 416-282-1101. If you're in the Toronto area, please give us a call. We'd love to have you come and visit. It's a multicultural church. We have done so much within the city and overseas. And so we're a powerful prophetic ministry. Please come and join us. Give us a call if you need prayers, requests, whatever your prayer requests are. We have a prayer team, we have intercessors team, ministry going, etc., etc. Please come and join us again. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We look forward to the next week. We're going to be having another topic. There are five of us on this program, two engineers, Mr. Gordon Knott, engineer, and Mr. Uh,
Gospel.
Gospel from Nigeria is another engineer, and my co-host here, Miss Fusey and Miss Campbell. Ladies, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm Dr. William. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and may God richly bless you.